We're less than an hour away from the kickoff of Berwick Bulldogs football on Pop Radio. Streaming online at thisispopradio.com. Brought to you by
Overhead Door of Berwick. Berwick Notary, State Farm Insurance, Sean Black and Lori Powell, First Keystone Community Bank, the Willows Golf Course, Journey Bank, Flick Brothers Electric in Bloomsburg, Blaze Alexander Family Buick GMC of Bloomsburg, Berwick Dental Arts, W&L Subaru, Nissan and Mazda, Reds Roofing, Preferred Portables, Nespoli Jewelers, Neighborhood Fence, Ken Pollock Ford, Mayo Funeral Home, ND Accounting and Consulting, Anna Mason's Monogram Service.
It's time for the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
Well, after an impressive 37-14 win at Williamsport last Friday for their second straight win, the Bulldogs are here at Harold L. Bowling Memorial Stadium tonight to take on the Seals of Selinsgrove High School. CJ, you thought your team could run the football against a Williamsport defense that had been vulnerable to the run in their previous 3 losses. But did you imagine 536 rushing yards?
I did not expect that. But, our guys came to play. They had a great week of practice, and we said all week that we wanted to go out. We wanted to dominate the line of scrimmage. And our offensive line played a huge part in that. They were physical. They were mean. They played tough the entire game. And even when some adversity hit, we just kept sticking to our game plan. And our offensive line had great push the entire game, and our backs made it happen. 2 guys over 100 yards. And with tie breaking the record, obviously, which was incredible. But our guys ran hard, and obviously we're 0 for 1 passing, and that's got to change. But when the run game's working like that, sometimes you don't need it.
Well, tied 366 yards on 27 attempts, a school record that goes back to 1977 with Mike Graybeal. We talked last week about his growing confidence level. Must be through the roof right now.
Absolutely. And with Ty last week, I've never seen him run quite like that. And I think that it just goes to show how hard he's working in practice to get better and studying film to see what's there. Even when he started against Hanover, everything wanted to be outside at running back. And now he's seeing cuts. He's making one cut, great field vision, and turning on the jets. And the first time that I've seen him lower his shoulder, he was running through tackles. His amount of broken tackles was an incredible amount, and he just kept his legs pumping. So that was a different time here, Wilkerson, that we saw, and he knows that he can't get complacent. He can't be reading all the headlines, and everybody wants to interview him, and for good reason, because it's special, and he should enjoy what he's doing. But he has to keep a level head to continue to get better, because it's going to be a huge challenge this week against a good Selinsgrove defense.
Well, the standpoint of you and your coaching staff, you need to use them in different ways, and I was impressed by the different looks that you had. Obviously the Wildcat, but he was an I formation tailback. There were times where they were blocking backs either on the left or the right side. So teams are now really going to be geared up to stop him, but they have to find him first.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the big thing. We just need to continue to find ways to get the ball in his hands, continue to mix up looks. And I think that now it opens up the door for guys like Billy and for Galusha to have great games as teams start to really focus in on number 5. But at the end of the day, you got to stop him too. And he's a great back for a reason. It's no secret on how he's able to gain those yards, because he's a great player and he's a great athlete. And as he continues to get better, he's not doing this against teams that are really struggling. Williamsport's a 4-win, 6-8 team, and he had some success against a 7-1 Wyoming area team. So he's doing it against good teams. He just needs one little crease, and we're hanging our hat on our offensive line to be able to keep dominating and opening up those holes for him.
Well, you mentioned the offensive line. They were terrific, weren't they?
They're unbelievable. They were unbelievable, and they keep getting better every weekend. They love running the football. They have so much pride in what they do. They have an incredibly high pain threshold. All the things that you need for an offensive line to be, they are, and they just have so much pride in what they do. They love running the football. They love blocking for their backs, and they have a good time doing it.
Well, the Bulldogs' defense also turned in an impressive performance against Williamsport. Up next, CJ will evaluate that performance. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio.
Reds Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, the roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Reds Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding, specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Reds Roofing, the roofing ninjas, now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
Family tradition is the foundation of Nespoli Jewelers, a family tradition started by Joseph Nespoli and continued by his grandson Jonathan. For 3 generations, Nespoli Jewelers have prided themselves on mixing fine with fashion. Jonathan can customize your engagement ring and wedding bands, design a unique piece of jewelry inspired by you, or simply help you find an affordable gift. Service, quality, creativity. Nespoli Jewelers. Yesterday's principles, today's creations. East Front Street in Berwick and online at nespolijewelers.com.
Fall into savings at Ken Pollock Ford and take advantage of up to $10,000 off select F-150s in stock and up to $1,000 of trade assistance on our Bronco family lineup. With rates falling as low as 1.9% on select models, there's a vehicle for everyone's budget. Ken Pollock Ford is proud to have experts on hand with over 200 years of sales and service experience combined. Service pickup and drop-off, loaner cars, mobile service, we do it all. Only at Ken Pollock Ford, Route 11 Berwick, or online at kenpollockford.com.
Planning your next big event? Weddings, concerts, church festivals, even construction sites. Preferred Portables has you covered. Preferred Portables offers a luxury restroom trailer that even has hot water. No power? No problem. They can provide a generator to keep the lights on. They even provide sanitary service to campgrounds, parks, parties, and have 24-hour emergency service. Contact Preferred Portables to learn about event and contractor pricing. Check out their website, preferredportables.com. We're number 1 when you have to go number 2.
You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
The postseason playoffs begin in 2 weeks. Tonight, the next to the last game of the regular season with the Bulldogs here in Selinsgrove to take on the Seals. CJ, in last Friday's win at Williamsport, your team's defense held the Millionaires' offense to minus 28 yards rushing. How'd you do it?
Pretty awesome. I mean, just unbelievable determination and grit and toughness and execution by our front 7 especially. Our defensive line dominated the line of scrimmage, which was awesome. A ton of defensive tackles and ends made plays the entire night. I think our backers played much better than they had done previously to be able to fill holes and fill gaps and have gap integrity to make plays behind the line of scrimmage. And so, with that being said, I think that there's still some things that we have to continue to do better at that. The quarterback was able to have some success getting on the outside, which I think that tonight this is something that Gavin Bastion can do with the Selinsgrove offense. But I'm just so proud of the way that our defense played last week, and to hold them to a 40% completion percentage. They had one big play that our guy was in pretty good position for, and they had some success in the 2-minute drill where once again their touchdown within the second half but the clock ticking was pretty good coverage by our outside backer, Shiloh Escobar, on one of the best receivers in District 4. And so, it just comes to getting more experience back there. But I think our defense, they play physical, they play tough, they play for each other, and they play with some heart, too.
This seems to be the year of the wide receiver. You've faced so many good ones. You're going to face another one tonight. But Tyreek Bradshaw, reference, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player. He's a very good player. He had 41 catches last year for about 400 yards. He led District 4 in receptions last year coming off of an injury. And so, we knew that we had to be aware of where he was. And given some of the injuries that we had in our secondary, with Julian Howie making his first start at safety, he had 2 picks. He had a great hit. He played very, very well. But, for a lot of the time, we were playing straight man coverage against a team that had some very good wide receivers. So, as a coach, it made my heart stop a couple times as they were dropping back, and they got a couple. But I think for the most part, our secondary played very well. They're always up for the challenge, and it was awesome to see those guys rally for each other to make plays.
You referenced injuries. You've been without a terrific cornerback in Caleb May for the last couple of games. So what's his status?
Caleb's back tonight. Caleb will be suited up for us tonight, and so going to run him out there and see what he can do defensively. He's been working so hard to be able to get back off kind of a lingering injury a little bit, but wanted to make sure that he was 100% before he can go, and tonight he should be good to go. And so he's foaming at the mouth to get back out there. He loves being out there. He loves to compete. He loves to be around the guys. He loves to go make plays, and so we're super excited to have Caleb back with us.
Well, tonight the Bulldogs are on the road to take on Selinsgrove. Later in the show, CJ will tell us about the Seals, but up next, it's the Bulldog Spotlight feature. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio.
Hey, hometown fans. You know Journey Bank as your trusted local bank. But did you know we're also the biggest cheerleader for our community's youth? From athletes competing under the Friday night lights, to students excelling in the classroom, to talented teen stars singing center stage, we're investing in the future of our young people. At Journey Bank, we're committed to helping our kids score big in every aspect of life. Journey Bank, where dreams are nurtured and futures are built. Journey Bank, proud supporter of our local youth.
Be moved in a Mazda from W&L. Jump in with the whole family for a night of memories in the third row Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, offering 1.9% financing for 72 months. Or choose bold utility in the all-new CX-70. You will elevate your driving experience with a comfortable cabin and expansive cargo capacity. Right now, W&L Mazda is offering 2.9% for 72 months. See us off Route 11 in Northumberland and online at WNLMazda.com. Financing available to well-qualified applicants only. Offer cannot be combined with any other discounts or incentives other than loyalty or military offers. Offers end 10/31/24. See W&L Mazda for complete offer details.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 35 years experience. And new Bulldog wear for every age, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, polos, hats, and more. They even make online fundraising easy for you. Stop in today to discuss your next fundraising opportunity. You can also shop at masonsmonogramming.com for their new inventory and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogramming for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram Service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickashinny, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes, perfection in every detail.
You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
Tonight, the Bulldogs play Selinsgrove for the first time since the 2021 season here at Harold L. Bolig Memorial Stadium. In our next segment, CJ will tell us what to expect from the Seals, but now it's time for our weekly feature Bulldog Spotlight. Tonight, the spotlight is on junior lineman J.J. Leonard. CJ, we noticed from our perch in the press box that number 56 jersey a lot on defense last Friday at Williamsport. He played well, didn't he?
He certainly did. He's played great, and he's earned his role on defense a little bit more and more. He's been a staple left tackle on our offense. He's been a starter since he was a freshman, and now as an upperclassman. All that experience is starting to pay off. And one thing that I'll say about JJ is that he had such an unbelievable year in the weight room, in the off season. You know, he was a part of every single workout. He's been a leader for us. He got bigger, faster, stronger, more agile, and he's earned the right to play on both sides of the ball. He's an excellent leader for us. He was named captain last week for the first time, and when he gets out there, he's a gamer, he's a competitor, he loves to get after it, he builds his teammates up, and when he goes out there, he makes plays, and he has such a fun, just seeing him, he has an infectious smile. His energy is through the roof at all times. He's a great leader, so watching him be successful has been a pleasure.
He's listed at 6 foot, 255, good size for a high school lineman, but from what you're saying, he's got all the intangibles as well.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's such a great kid to be around. He's a National Honor Society student. He's got a 4.0 GPA. He's a leader in school. Kids absolutely love him. His teammates absolutely love him. And he knows when he goes out there, he's able to flip the switch, and he's able to motivate his guys on the field. He's a great practice player. He gets after it. He works hard. He's one of the hardest working guys in our weight room, the hardest working guys on the practice field. And just to watch him and his relationship with people, I mean, it's just such a beautiful thing to see him develop, and to watch him be successful this year has been great. He's one of the leaders of our offensive line. Playing left tackle, for 3 years is tough, and he gets out there and he's always prepared, studies film, knows what he has to do. He makes calls on the offensive line, and last week it was nice to see him have continued success on the defensive side of the ball. And now I had to bust him a little bit because he cramped up. That's his first time cramping up, so he's going to have to work on his conditioning this week. But man, did he play lights out and 100 miles an hour for the entirety of 4 quarters, which is something that our football team hasn't showed this year until Friday night, that we're able to play 4 complete quarters of football, and he was a huge part in that.
In the Bulldog Spotlight, junior J.J. Leonard. Tonight, J.J. and his Bulldog teammates take on Selinsgrove here at Harold L. Bolig Memorial Stadium. Up next, C.J. will evaluate the Seals offense. You're listening to the C.J. Curry Show on Pop Radio.
Jim Doyle and the Berwick Bulldogs head coach C.J. Curry. Brought to you by
Overhead Door of Berwick, Berwick Notary, State Farm Insurance, Sean Black and Lori Powell, First Keystone Community Bank, the Willows Golf Course, Journey Bank, Flick Brothers Electric in Bloomsburg, Blaze Alexander Family Buick GMC of Bloomsburg, Berwick Dental Arts, W&L Subaru Nissan and Mazda, Reds Roofing, Preferred Portables, Nespoli Jewelers, Neighborhood Fence, Ken Pollock Ford, Mayo Funeral Home, ND Accounting and Consulting, and Mason's Monogram Service.
You'll only find the C.J. Curry Show on Pop Radio and streaming online at thisispopradio.com.
When you've been sidelined by an injury, all you want is to get back in the game. Getting to the finish line starts with Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's leader in sports medicine. We use the most advanced technology for faster, better results, so elite and everyday athletes can compete like champions once again. Call 833-LV-ORTHO. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Your health deserves a partner.
Stop. Don't make your next car payment. Instead, get a new vehicle at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. Because right now, we're offering a 120% of Kelley Blue Book trade value buyback bonus, up to $2,500. Just find the vehicle you want from our huge selection of new Buicks and GMCs and get 120% of KBB trade-in value for yours. It's the 120% of KBB buyback bonus event going on now at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. The lowest price guaranteed.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick, the roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding, specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas, now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
Planning your next big event? Weddings, concerts, church festivals, even construction sites. Preferred Portables has you covered. Preferred Portables offers a luxury restroom trailer that even has hot water. No power? No problem. They can provide a generator to keep the lights on. They even provide sanitary service to campgrounds, parks, parties, and have 24-hour emergency service. Contact Preferred Portables to learn about event and contractor pricing. Check out their website, preferredportables.com. We're number one when you have to go number two.
You're listening to the C.J. Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
Well, tonight marks the 35th meeting between Selinsgrove and Berwick. Bulldogs lead the series 20-14, but the Seals beat the Dogs 42-14 in their last meeting in 2021. Selinsgrove brings a 4-4 record into tonight's game, while Berwick is 3-5. And CJ, you were on this staff a year ago. Advantage you or them?
I think it's a little bit of both. It's nice because I'm able to kind of know who these kids are. It's funny because I talked to some of their guys that they depend on for a lot of their offense and their defense. Ethan Miller and I, their best linebacker, Gavin Bastian, number 1, and Devin Mitchell, number 26. We have a great relationship. And so, being able to be up there and get to know these guys a little bit, it's a special game for both of us for sure, because they want to kick my butt. There's no doubt about that. And they've made that very apparent to me. However, it's awesome to kind of know these guys and to be able to have a little bit more insight about what they do as we prepared for this week.
We have something in common with their head coach, Matt Wenrick. He's also in his first year as a head coach at his alma mater. Spent several seasons as an assistant at Milton before taking on this task. Before we talk about his offensive personnel, and you mentioned some of them, let's talk about their schemes. What do they do? How do they line up? What are they trying to do?
They're always just a very, very tough physical football team, and they run a defense that we haven't seen much of lately, or at all this year, I should say, and that's a 3-5 with some moving linebackers. They love to bring pressure. They have athletic guys in their secondary who can cover ground, but the guy who impresses me the most on that defensive front 8 is their middle linebacker, Ethan Miller. He's an unbelievable football player. The pleasure to know him. He takes practices and games so seriously. He moves up a million miles an hour shot out of a cannon, super physical, high energy guy, so we have to be prepared for him. And then offensively, they kind of work with 2 different offensive schemes that we've seen, and one led by sophomore quarterback Rocco Amato, who I had the pleasure of coaching last year. Such a great kid. He's worked so hard to become and to inherit the reins of the quarterback position, but, they'll do a lot of pro stuff, or they're going to run with 44 as the running back, and then they're going to throw the ball to number one off of that on some play action, some quick throws, and one will go get the football. I mean, last year, thinking about being on the staff in their district championship game against Jersey Shore, he had 5 catches in the first half. 3 of them were for touchdowns. He had 150 yards receiving before the first half was over. So he's an absolute game breaker. Mitchell's a great player. Miller's a great player. Jared Bullington, another fullback's a great player. They got some guys coming back, some pieces on the O-line, led by number 55, Tegan Manier, who has a 450-pound bench, 500-some pound squat. So these guys are tough. And, offensively, when Rocco's not at quarterback, Gavin will play some wildcat quarterback, and they've shown that they can be very successful against teams such as Shikellamy and Williamsport when Gavin's their wildcat quarterback, and super great athlete. When he takes off, it's tough to get him. So we're going to have to set the edge against him tonight. Rally to the football, tackle these guys low.
Well, we made reference to this as the year of the wide receiver as far as the opposition for Berwick is concerned. You mentioned Gavin Bastian. The quarterback, Rocco Amato, first sophomore, has some pretty good numbers, but by far the majority of his passes go to Gavin Bastian. Last year, he caught 55 passes for a team that made it to the state semis. This season he has 33. What makes him so good?
Yeah, he is the leader of that football team. Just such a great kid. He really is. He's another guy. He has a 400-pound bench press. He squats about 500 pounds. Workhorse in the weight room. Super strong, super fast, super physical. Has a great catch radius, and he can do it all. And it's funny. He actually texted me this past Sunday and said, "Hey, Coach, you're not going to double cover me, are you?" I said, "Well, we have to, man. Well, we have to." And so he just is such a game breaker. He's a smart football player. His dad's on the coaching staff. His dad coaches running backs and does their strength program. So, I know Gavin pretty well, and I just know how hard he works at it. And he's a tough player to stop. So we have to be prepared in the secondary, and we have to be prepared in the front seven. They'll line him up at running back, wide receiver, quarterback, so in the slot. So he'll be a little bit of all places. We have to make sure we know where he's at all times, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I don't think you've done a lot of double teaming this year, despite the talent of the opposition. But when so many of their completions go to one player, you almost have to.
Yeah, absolutely. He even showed against Shamokin that, they threw him a go ball in the end zone, and he was double covered, bracket coverage by a safety and a corner, and he went up and made the play anyway. So it's one of those things that we're going to do our best to try to take that away, but we have to depend on getting some pressure to the quarterback and letting our front seven try to be successful again this week and doing the same things that they did last week, but just making sure that, we converge on that pocket, make it tough for Rocco to get the throws off and be tight in our coverage, go up and find the ball when it's thrown.
Well, up next, CJ will tell us what to expect from that Selinsgrove defense. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio.
When you've been sidelined by an injury, all you want is to get back in the game. Getting to the finish line starts with Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's leader in sports medicine. We use the most advanced technology for faster, better results, so elite and everyday athletes can compete like champions once again. Call 833-LV-ORTHO. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Your health deserves a partner.
Family tradition is the foundation of Nespoli Jewelers, a family tradition started by Joseph Nespoli and continued by his grandson Jonathan. For 3 generations, Nespoli Jewelers have prided themselves on mixing fine with fashion. Jonathan can customize your engagement ring and wedding bands, design a unique piece of jewelry inspired by you, or simply help you find an affordable gift. Service, quality, creativity. Nespoli Jewelers. Yesterday's principles, today's creations. East Front Street in Berwick and online at nespolijewelers.com.
Hey, hometown fans. You know Journey Bank as your trusted local bank. But did you know we're also the biggest cheerleader for our community's youth? From athletes competing under the Friday night lights, to students excelling in the classroom, to talented teen stars singing center stage, we're investing in the future of our young people. At Journey Bank, we're committed to helping our kids score big in every aspect of life. Journey Bank, where dreams are nurtured and futures are built. Journey Bank, proud supporter of our local youth.
Be moved in a Mazda from W&L. Jump in with the whole family for a night of memories in the third row Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, offering 1.9% financing for 72 months. Or choose bold utility in the all-new CX-70. You will elevate your driving experience with a comfortable cabin and expansive cargo capacity. Right now, W&L Mazda is offering 2.9% for 72 months. See us off Route 11 in Northumberland and online at WNLMazda.com. Financing available to well-qualified applicants only. Offer cannot be combined with any other discounts or incentives other than loyalty or military offers. Offers end 10/31/24. See W&L Mazda for complete offer details.
You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Here with the first-year head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs is Jim Doyle.
Harold L. Bolig Memorial Stadium in Selinsgrove is the venue for tonight's Week 9 matchup as the Bulldogs take on the Seals of Selinsgrove High School. CJ, when Selinsgrove won a state championship in 2009, their head coach, Matt Wenrick, was a linebacker in that vaunted 3-5 defense. You know, you can do a lot of things with a number of different defenses, but I'm here to tell you the 5 in that 3-5 were all studs, including Matt Wenrick.
No doubt.
And that helps. But they've always, other teams run the 3-5, but for some reason, Selinsgrove was at it first. And they seem to give teams more problems with it. Do they do something differently?
You know, I think it's a multitude of things, and I think that it starts with Coach Wenrick, who's done a fabulous job with them and installing this defense and bringing back that mentality of their state championship type of team. Ryan Kaiser, who was an unbelievable player on that football team as well, as their secondary coach, and he was the defensive coordinator last year for Selinsgrove. So both of them are unbelievable coaches. Both of them, bring it with the mindset every single time that they step onto the practice field. And so, they have those guys ready to roll and being physical. And I think that the way that, they shift as a defensive line, last minute shifting, and bringing any one of those 5 linebackers and sometimes multiple, 2 or 3 of them, it just puts you in a tough spot offensively to think on the fly and be able to pick those things up. And especially when you have linebackers like Ethan Miller, who's unbelievable. Number 26, Devin Mitchell, who's a 2-year starter who can play defensive end and linebacker. And, you just have some very good players, some strong players, fast and physical, and the way that they move around and bring pressure, it forces you, into having to make quick decisions and making sure that you understand your assignments and blocking.
We mentioned those people coming at you from all different angles. Obviously, that's a high reward situation for the defense if they get you right. But it's high risk as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's sometimes they certainly do roll the dice, but I think that it's nice where they have 2 out of their 3 guys in the secondary. They're, one of their corners and their free safety are returning starters from last year. Bastion plays a little bit of strong safety in that outside linebacker position. He covers the field unbelievably well. So it's nice when you're able to kind of sell out for the run like that, which is what we expect that they're going to give to us tonight and force us into throwing the football, especially when they have good cover guys who do a very, very good job covering the deep ball. Not many teams have deep ball success against them. And so, we're going to have to be able to, once again, the goal is to dominate the line of scrimmage and be able to run the football effectively. But, tonight we certainly have to be better than we have been previously in throwing the football because they are somewhat vulnerable in that aspect, and teams have had some success in throwing the football. But that's obviously a place where we haven't been successful thus far.
Where's the responsibility of your offense as far as recognizing who is coming from where?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things that, we know that any of those 5 backers can be coming at any given time, especially given some of the formations that we have. And so this week we've spent a great deal of time in blitz pickup and sending guys in and spiking guys and jamming defensive linemen, spraying defensive linemen, and having linebackers come inside gaps. So just giving ourselves the most difficult looks. And the goal this week was to make practice so hard that defending it tonight should be easy for our guys. So hopefully that hard work is paid off, but it all just depends on our offensive line coming out and just being calm and focused and being able to understand and execute their assignments.
Your team is on a nice little roll now at the right time of the season with the playoffs right around the corner. Best of luck and keeping it going tonight.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Listen for another CJ Curry Show prior to next Friday's game against Tunkhannock. That'll be the regular season finale and senior night at Crispin Field. Stay tuned now for Berwick and Selinsgrove football on Pop Radio.
This has been the CJ Curry Show on Pop Radio. Next, we go live to the press box with Jim Doyle and Andy Ulican on